My favorite film of 2025 did what I didn't think that they could do. I was surprised because of just where everything was felt like it was headed after Golden Globes, but Sinners does the unthinkable with 16 nominations heading into Oscar night. And my God, incredible. What that means for Sinners, the Oscar snubs, I'll react to that. I'll even react to the latest news on the next Batman film for the DCU, for James Gunn's universe. I'll react to the latest news on that here on the Real Table Podcast. Let's get it. Let's go.
Welcome to the table. You are now listening to the Real Table Podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast with your host, Michael Carter. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the table. I love talking movies. I love talking movie news and what's going on in Hollywood. I love this. I love being able to do this. Wasn't able to get anybody on for this episode. Oscar nominations. For me, it's about a day ago. It's Friday, the 23rd. If you're seeing this, it's probably Saturday, the 24th. A lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions. As I'm driving to work and I got the Disney Plus app open and I'm listening in the car to these nominations being read out loud, and it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting for people that love certain films, and it's not exciting for people that don't love certain films. Not as exciting. It depends. But if you are an avid movie lover, if you are a true lover of when it comes to movies and storytelling of that kind, I think coming away after this Oscar nominations, after it's been released, I think you could go, man, this is good. This is really cool stuff. And it makes Oscar night a little bit more interesting. But before we get into those nomination talks, news on James Gunn's Batman, right? Well, some people might go, well, that's Robert Pattinson's Batman. And this is where a lot of the issues are centering right now with the whole DC and Warner Brothers and the storytelling and the different properties right now that are going and that are flowing and are happening and are developing. This is where the issues come to line. So Robert Pattinson's Batman has nothing to do with James Gunn's Batman, right? Which can be a little confusing for general audiences, right? If you are an avid fan like I am and you're staying close to the news and you're aware of what's going on, this isn't confusing. You understand the difference. Will average moviegoers understand that difference? Who knows? But it's a problem that Warner Brothers doesn't want to have. But guess what? The Batman was a hit, and it's a film that I think, for me, it arguably is probably my favorite Batman movie. I love the interpretation. I love what Reeves was able to do with the character. Robert Pattinson was great. The casting, the drama. The Batman is a great Batman film, and it's a great film in general. But that creates a little bit of an issue when James Gunn is starting and doing his own little universe. So what does that mean for the Batman character? Well, it means exactly what that means for the Batman character. They're going to do a whole new character. But that also means that Batman is not a priority right now for the DCU. I have no idea what that means for when Batman will show up, which is another question that they're going to have to answer eventually, because Batman is Batman, right? If eventually threats will get too big and you're going to have to wonder where the Dark Knight is. It's just the way it is. Beyond that, news on James Gunn's Batman movie, which is slow developing. Again, it's not high priority because you have this Robert Pattinson movie going on, this Robert Pattinson universe going on, which, again, part 2 is due out next year, and there's probably going to be a part 3, and hopefully part 3 doesn't take as long as part 2 has taken. It's been reported by Jeff Snyder that Christina Hodson has been tapped for The Brave and the Bold. What does that mean? Michael, who's Christina Hodson? Christina Hodson is known for the Flash movie, right? Big no-no, right? I don't think I've met anybody and sat down and had a conversation with anybody that actually thought The Flash was good. That's a big no-no. In my book, that's a big no-no. Now it's also being said that Andy Muschietti, right? Andy Muschietti, who also directed The Flash, right? He's also more known for the 2 It films. And he also produced Welcome to Derry, the It show, which is, I thought was pretty good. He's also being tapped to direct it. That's a big no-no. Big red flag. Full stop on all accounts. I am deeply sorry. Anybody that is connected with that Flash movie should not be anywhere near this new DC universe. They just shouldn't. Right? We can argue a lot of that was on Ezra Miller and the stuff he was doing outside of it. Warner Brothers was doing this. Warner Brothers was doing. We can argue that all day. What's real is that the Flash lost Warner Brothers a lot of money and was a flop. It was a flop. A movie that was well received by the critics was a total flop. The director and writer of those 2 films, of that film, excuse me, not those 2 films, but that film should not have anything to do with a Batman movie. Period. We can't debate it. There is no argument for it. There's flops right there. That flop is right there. It is hanging over the head of the last regime of what DC was. You can't argue for it. I'm sorry, and I'm sure Christina Hodson is a great person. I'm sure Andy Muschietti is a great person. But this is sort of the tension I have with the industry. And it's annoying because I see plenty of filmmakers who if they make a bad movie and they don't make a good movie, and writers, they get blacklisted, right? But then you have somebody like no offense to Andy Muschietti, but more so Christina Hodson. I mean, what are we doing here, folks? She was a part of a movie that flopped, that did not do good. And again, if you want people to come see a Batman movie, which and here's another thing. James Gunn might not ever see this, but this is also my argument to it. And this is why I think he has to work closely with Christina Hodson or fully find a different writer. And the director, no offense to Andy Muschietti, get a different director. But people are already at the point where we love Batman. I think the culture in the world loves Batman, and people will always show up for Batman like they do with Spider-Man. To have 2 Batmans running around, you need this next one to either be at the same level, at the same execution as the Batman, or prepared for people to go, I'm tired of this. I don't want this. And not only I'm tired of this, I don't want this. They're going to see the decline. They're going to see the clear presentation and execution. I am so sorry. Matt Reeves has set the bar high. If you're going to do another Batman movie and have 2 Batmans running around in theaters, like, dude, you've got to make it really, really good. And I know James Gunn, his track record speaks for itself. Guardians of the Galaxy, right? A trilogy that is one of the best trilogies out there. It is. It's one of the best trilogies out there, right? It speaks for itself. Superman was a hit, right? He has a really good track record, but man, I feel like we're still years out from this Batman film being made. But I'm like, dude, do not do this. It's a PR nightmare too. It's a PR nightmare for people to go, wait, Christina Hodson, she was a part of the Flash. Andy Muschietti was also part. Oh, well, what are we doing here? Those 2 box office, those are 2 flops right there, right? I'm begging James Gunn to really rethink this. Don't just go, oh, we're gonna lean into it's like, no, dude. Sam Raimi, right? Sam Raimi has came out and he said that he would do a Batman, or he wanted to do a Batman film a long time ago. Dude, there are people out there that would do it. Do not stick with a director that didn't do a good job with The Flash. I'm sorry. That Flash movie, no offense to Andy Muschietti, I think he's doing a great job with it. Welcome to Derry series is good. Flash sucked. Flash was horrible. The first time that character gets to get a chance to be in theaters, and it's a whole mess. It's a freaking mess. Don't do it, James. I'm telling you, dude. I trust you and I believe in you, but like, dude, do not do it. Do not do it. It's not worth the PR nightmare. The DCU does not need any more. Does not need any It does not need any flack. Doesn't need any drama. Does not need any baggage. Just don't do it. Find other people that can execute at the bar of the Matt Reeves films too. That's also the tension. You got to execute this film as high as that film. And Matt Reeves did that with the first one. It remains to be seen if he could do it with part 2 and then eventually part 3. But knowing Matt Reeves and what he did with Planet of the Apes, high hopes. High hopes for that. Oscars. Let's get to it. I'm excited. I'm excited about the Oscars now. Not that I wasn't, but I'm happy. I'm a big Sinners guy. Sinners with 16 nominations. One, the haters, they can live with it and they can suck it because guess what? Sinners is a quality film, and I said it, and I said it on the last episode. Sinners will be remembered for generations, and it does not matter what happens in March too. I'm going to say that too. It doesn't matter what happens in March. What will be remembered is that Sinners had 16 nominations, right? But on the other hand, what I don't want to happen is Sinners to walk away with no wins or not enough wins or whatever. This moment is huge because I think 16 nominations for a film that we're calling it is a horror film. It lives in that horror genre, has vampires. It is a blockbuster. Like, folks, this is like cream of the crop, top-notch stuff right here. A horror film being nominated for Best Picture. A horror film being able to nab 16 nominations is huge. Again, what I don't want to happen is March. And again, I'm not like, it needs to happen, but I need to see some more movement on March. I'm hoping that when we get to March, I'm hoping to see a Best Picture win for Sinners. And for me, because I don't want to believe this, that people are like, they feel the Academy gave Sinners 16 nominations that's just like a here. We want to celebrate you and that's it. Right? There's tension with that for me. Because in my opinion, I think this says more about what the Academy thinks about Sinners though. Right? It nabbed 16 nominations, which means the body thought the movie, they thought well of the movie, right? Way more than I thought could possibly happen. And I think it makes it really interesting too, because again, I said on the last episode when we were talking about the Golden Globes, I said one battle after another is going to be the one to beat. It's the top dog right now, I think, right? But now I want us to pump the brakes on one battle after another. I'm not willing to give it the Best Picture win right away. I'm not willing to give it, shoot, I'd even go as far as to say Best Director. Like, I'm not willing to call it a huge dub and it's going to win Best Picture. I think the fact that, again, Michael B. Jordan being nominated for Best Actor, and there's a lot there. Delroy Lindo being able to nab supporting actor. Like, guys, like, the writing is there. I think the Academy values this movie way more than people think. Now, again, can that translate into the voting process? Or will that translate to the voting process? Right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if one battle after another won Best Picture still, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Sinners just came away and was just like, boom, 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 boom. Right? It remains to be seen. That Best Actor, man, that Best Actor is going to come. Best Actor. That Best Picture is going to come down to one battle and Sinners. Period. One battles and Sinners. Right? So, I love this. I would not have thought in a million years. A movie like this, the historical layers to it, whether you liked it or not. Again, real film people, real people that appreciate cinema, even if you didn't like the film, you can still look at it and go, I appreciate it. I've seen way too many arguments on 16 nominations. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. And I'm like, dude, that is your opinion, right? That's your opinion. And you are 100% able to make that opinion. But also, you got to have respect for it. You got to have respect for the craft, right? The craftsmanship that went into this movie, the layers that went into this movie. You've got to have some kind of respect for it, and if you don't, you're in a real. Again, you're not a real film guy, in my opinion. I think real film people can respect the craft. They can respect the film even though they don't like it. Right? I disagree with last year's Best Picture win. I'm not sure. I can respect it because I go, people have worked hard on it. But as far as quality level of films against all those other film, I go, all the other nominations, I go, no way. That's another conversation. So yeah, we have a real race right now. One Battle versus Sinners. Oh, that's how I see it. Can we talk about F1 cracking Best Picture real quick? A lot of people are surprised by that. And I don't know, I am surprised, but I'm also just sitting here and I'm going, F1 is a lovable film. It was a big film this summer. It found itself sticking in the box office for 2 or 3 months. Like the way that Apple did this film, the way they carried this film, the promotion, all that behind it, I thought, dude, they believed in the film, not only believed in it, but people ate it up and people resonated with it, right? Which, again, for Apple TV, I feel like those are 2 middle fingers to Netflix for a movie like this, F1. F1's probably not going to win Best Picture, but I still think it's incredible to go, dude, F1 just finds its way in there, beating out Wicked for Good, which we're going to talk about Wicked. Oh, we're going to talk about Wicked. Beating out Wicked for Good. Beating out Avatar Fire and Ash. It's incredible. I love it. I love it for that film. And I think you have an argument. You had an argument that Zootopia 2 could have taken that spot. Yep. There's a legit argument for that. But as somebody that liked F1, I'm cool with it. I think it's cool that it's Oscar nominated for Best Picture. Love that. But again, I don't think it's gonna win. I don't think it's gonna win at all. But I think that's pretty cool. Came out of nowhere. But Joseph Kosinski, man. Again, I've said this for a long time, and I know Disney's probably putting it on a back burner and probably won't touch that with a 10-foot pole for a long time. But if Disney were to give Joseph Kosinski a call and say, "Hey, dude, come make this next Tron film," that should be Disney's call with the Tron franchise. Should have been Disney's call after Top Gun Maverick. Should have been Disney's call. But F1 making Best Picture, getting Best Picture. I love it. These acting categories are stacked. The biggest surprise for these acting categories. Let me find it. Actor in the leading role. For me, I'm so surprised that Michael B. Jordan found his way in there. I didn't think he was going to be in there. I don't know. I just didn't think he was going to get the love for that role. I don't know if he wins. I think there's still too much Timothée Chalamet, Marty Supreme hype from what we've just seen. And again, things can change, but I think Michael B. Jordan getting that Sinners nod is huge, and I love that for him. That's his first Oscar nomination, and it's well deserved because Michael is an extraordinary actor. Actually, a great filmmaker too, and producer. Michael does it all. But about time that Michael B. Jordan gets some love. And one day, and if it's this year, I'll turn up, right? I'll turn up a loose if Michael can get that win. Actor in supporting role, Delroy Lindo. My God. Did not see that coming, and it is a surprise for a lot of people. Again, this is one of those moments where you go, oh, the Academy thinks differently about this movie than the Globes. Way differently, right? Obviously, this is just nominations, but still. Delroy hasn't been getting his love for this role, but man, getting that nomination. Wumi Musaku, Dude, come on. For Sinners, dude, again, those are the two categories that I feel like shocked a lot of people. Everybody went like, what? But it's deserved. Delroy, Umi, like incredible in those movies. And it'll be interesting to see. I think it's still Tiana's to lose. But man, again, if the Academy really values Sinners the way that we just seen with these 16 nominations, I don't know, man. Look out. Amy Madigan for Weapons, right? She was able to squeeze in there. And 2 for sentimental value, right? These categories are stacked, man. These categories are stacked. It does suck, though. And I guess let me make sure I'm not jumping too far ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead and start talking about snubs. Chase Infinity, I'm just so surprised. So much buzz, but she didn't get the love. Did not get the love. Did not get the love for Best Actress. Right? And a lot of the noise, I feel like, from people is stemming from Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue. It's hard when you get into these kind of conversations because you're going, I haven't seen the movie. I really want to speak into it to a certain extent, but I can't because I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen her in that movie. And I honestly don't know if I'm itching to see that movie. Anyways, Kate Hudson, again, what's fascinating, and I think this is an example of having friends, or well-known friends and friends of, I shouldn't say of high value, but just popular friends, people. Kate Hudson getting that nomination looks weird, considering Chase Infinity was being pushed and there was buzz for her. Also to mention, I don't know if Ariana would have been in. Ariana probably would have been in Best Actress. Or not Best Actress, excuse me. Supporting, I think. I think she would have been more supporting. I actually can't even remember what Ariana ran for anyways. Ariana was arguably snubbed too. We'll get to Wicked. But Chase Infinity had a lot of buzz for this. And the fact that, again, this is one of those moments where I'm like, one battle after another has so much hype. And out of nowhere for the Best Actress role, which, again, this is so much buzz and people loved her. She misses for Best Actress because Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue, which, by the way, Song Sung Blue has nothing going for it. Right? Which feels very frustrating and questionable because I'm like, did we really nominate Kate Hudson? And this is another tension that I've thought about. I think sometimes we see this. We see actors and actresses that get nominated based off of just their portrayal, right? Their role. But that movie doesn't get any other love. It's not buzzing for Best Actor or Best Picture. Like, it's not buzzing for anything other than in those other categories. So, or even the tech categories, it's not buzzing. So my question goes, Kate Hudson must be better than most of these girls then, right? Because if her performance is that good to be nominated, she's got to be better than Emma Stone and Begonia or Jessie Buckley and Hamnet, in my opinion, because I go, Begonia has a Best Picture nom, right? Hamnet has got a Best Picture nom. I think Best Director too. I think Chloe Zhao's director for Best Director. Yes. So Hamnet's got some traction. Hamnet's had traction all season. Song Sung Blue, I don't see Hugh Jackman getting nominated. I don't see a Best Director nom or Best Picture nomination. I don't even see nothing in the text. So what's the point of Kate Hudson then? Like literally. It feels so weird, and it feels so out of left field because you go, the world hasn't been talking about you in your role since the movie came out, and now out of nowhere you just get that Oscar nomination. A good example of somebody has friends in high places, right? And somebody also has popular friends, which to me is corny and it's lame. Because if this wins Best Picture, again, the correlation sometimes I go, if this movie wins Best Picture, you try and tell me Chase Infinity, who's a big part of the story, huge piece of the story, she has to carry some emotional moments in this movie. You're really trying to tell me she didn't deserve at least a nomination? We're not even talking about winning. We're talking about just strictly a nomination. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Paul Mescal, tough. Misses out an actor in a leading role, or one could say supporting actor. He misses out in either of those categories. And it's tough because you can argue because Delroy hasn't gotten that buzz. I mean, he's gotten buzz, right? People have been talking about his role and talk about some of the moments that he's had in Sinners, or at least one of the moments I can think of. But really didn't get a lot of noms and play. And he comes out of nowhere. Arguably, I don't know if I would swap out Delroy. I wouldn't swap out Sean Penn. Haven't seen Sentimental Value, so Stellan Skarsgård, can't really swap him out because I don't know. And I've heard he's really good in the movie. Benicio del Toro is fantastic. Jacob Elordi, again, I don't know. But Paul Mescal was so freaking good. He's so good in Hamnet, in my opinion. And him missing out, it does kind of suck. I'm just not sure who you swap him out for. But he's definitely been somebody I've kind of circled and go, he's one of the best parts of Hamnet. Obviously, Jessie Buckley is incredible, and she's my favorite part, and she better win. But yeah, that sucks for Paul. Yeah, that sucks. Ariana Grande. Ugh. This was Wicked's chance. I think Wicked kind of should have gotten for costume design. Wicked arguably should have got in. I wonder if you take out Avatar, Fire and Ash, even though they use real costumes, there's that tension there too. Yeah, Wicked, dude. I think this what some people want to call it a snub, and I'm not sure if it is a snub. I just think the Academy, and not even just Academy, I think the world is really telling us how they feel, or the film industry, these awards are telling us how they really feel about Wicked. I said it when I saw Wicked. I thought Wicked was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't like the first one. It didn't have the movement. It didn't have the endurance the first one had. And I think that's its biggest problem. I don't know who you point at and say who messed up, who screwed up. I don't know if you go look at John M. Chu and you go, buddy, you messed up with this one. Like, you should have did this. You should did this way. You should have interpreted the second act this way. Like, there are layers to that conversation that I'm like, I'm not quite sure, but Wicked just pooped out. And I felt it too. I felt it. I've been one of the people that thought Wicked for Good was okay. And it's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's not amazing. It doesn't capture, or it doesn't have what the first one has. And I know that's because story is different. There's a legit argument there to go, the movie is just not that good. It doesn't have the movement, right? I think, I don't know. I thought Wicked for Good was going to be it was going to be Cynthia's movie. Cynthia's going to come crashing for some Oscars. Who knows if she would have won, but I'm like, I thought that she was going to come with some force in this film, and she acted well. I thought Cynthia was better than the first one. I just think a lot of elements in Wicked for Good And you could just tell after the first week, the first box office week, you could just tell you're like, oof, the world's not really catching on. There's clearly a mixed reaction. People are getting the word out. Like you either love it or you feel like it's just okay, or you just feel like it was underwhelming. That's where the sentiment is. That's where it is. That's where people rest when it comes to this film. And this basically sums up Wicked for Good to run. Not as strong, not as daring as the first one, and it kind of sucks. And one could argue, because it's a sequel, and I go, I don't know. I don't know if it's really because of a sequel. Because Avatar not Fire and Ash. The Way of Water found its way in Best Picture. Like, it found its way in some of those categories, but like to completely miss, oof. It's tough. I don't know. I thought Ariana was gonna be able to squeeze in, but I was also in the camp of it didn't matter if she did for me. But I think this really just tells you what the Academy thinks, and kind of it's been the story for award season for Wicked. And I think that closes any door on us seeing anything at this point of the film. But I think that this, if anything, this feels like these nominations. Also, Ruth E. Carter, most nominated, most Oscar nominations for Black woman. Ruth E. Carter, put some respect on her. Incredible. I think these Oscars ultimately say this year says, I don't think it's necessarily the Academy appeasing the things that people want to watch. I don't think it's that. I think there's a legit conversation for movies like Sinners, for movies like One Battle After Another, Hamnet. Like, I saw tweets of people going like, the movies suck this year. Movies aren't great this year. And I go, I just feel like you're wrong. I feel like there are good films out there. Now, you don't have to like every other film that's out there, but there are great films out there. Right? Marty Supreme. Like, these are movies that are just like F1. A lot of movies are just, I won't say not all of them are box office hits. Most of them are box office hits. And I don't think this is Academy way of appeasing to the general audience. But I do think on Oscar night, I would not be surprised if this was one of the most viewed Oscars in a long time because of Sinners. Argue with a wall. Like, the general audience cares about that movie, whether you loved it or not. The general audience spoke on what they felt about that film, and they showed up. And they showed up to IMAX theaters because of that, 5 to 10 minute video with Ryan Coogler telling us about formats. Like, people showed up because they cared. That's what this is about. And so I don't think this is the Oscars appeasing that, because, then why weren't the Avengers films nominated, right? And one could go, totally different film. And I go, yeah, it's a totally different film, right? Sinners was that anomaly that felt like it was an original film, but also was an original film, but it was just this big blockbuster that had a Michael B. Jordan in it, a Delroy Lindo in it, right? A Wumi Masaka, who's always staying booked here and there throughout her career in the past 5 years. Like, Haley Seinfeld, like, dude, it's like it's there, right? And so people came up, people showed support the movie. So the good craft and the good craftsmanship of the film is there. It's within that film. And it's not just, I don't think that's just Academy appeasing people. I think there is a legit argument where the Academy goes, Sinners is really good, right? It's a really good film. Even if you didn't like it, I think the Academy appreciates it. Now, I'm hoping again that when we get to March, we're not looking at this and going, well, Sinners had 16 nominations and walked away with maybe 3 or 4. Like, I'm hoping we're going, Sinners had 16 nominations and walked away with 6 or 7, 5 or 6, right? And honest to God, if they could walk away with Best Picture, right? Get Ruth E. Carter another award for costume. Get that original screenplay Oscar. They're gonna get score. They should get score. Like, if if Wumi must look, y'all. If some things happen in March, I'm gonna be hyped. I can't wait if it happens. I'm gonna be hyped. I can't wait also because it's the Oscars, and I liked film this year. I caught up with most of it, and I still got to watch some more films. Sentimental Value is one of them. Frankenstein is one of them. Begonia, I've been putting that one off. I don't really feel inclined to be watching that one. I'm weird about Yorgo, but I'll watch that film. There's some films that I got to watch. But other than that, I'm excited about the Oscars. I like a year where the palette is very, very vast. It's very different. Very diverse. I love it. And if you don't love it, dude, that's between you and God, bro. It's between you and God. All right. That's it for the Real Table Podcast. The Oscars, the 98th Oscars. March 15th at 7 p.m. on ABC and Hulu. You know where I'll be. I'll be tuned in. This could be an historic Oscars. Especially if Sinners can pull it off, a horror film directed by a black man, dude, don't even get me started. I'm not even going to get myself too hyped because if we get to March, I don't want to be throwing no chairs and crashing out. Just kidding. All right. That's it for the Real Table Podcast. Thank you for listening. Stay connected. Stay locked in. More Real Table Podcasts coming your way. I'll see y'all real soon. Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're enjoying the deep dives and the conversation around film, be sure to share and follow the podcast. Once again, thanks for coming to the table, and we'll see you next time.